next item is handicap parking. Discussion of motion.
I would like to make a motion, and that is that signage be placed on the ramp at the front door of Town Hall, designating that space as handicap parking during office hours and/or public events.
Okay, do we have a second to that motion?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion about the motion?
What area would that encompass?
That would be the front of the door, front door.
Just like for one vehicle?
Yeah, in other words, sometimes during the day, like when I came to pay my taxes, there's a vehicle parked. You know, you have to go around the vehicle, and it was most likely a town employee. There were no other people here. And so what we would do is we would keep that area open in case like it's raining, or if there's a handicap situation, or if you get out underneath the cover, come inside, come up the ramp, do whatever business they need to do, then go back to the vehicle on the ramp. And the problem that's been observed is there are people parking there who aren't handicapped, and so when handicapped people come, they have nowhere to park.
No, let's be honest about that. That started because I parked there. And if you would like a copy of my handicap tag, I'm happy to provide it. My truck's sitting out there right now with a handicap tag in it.
Okay, do you have it on display?
I do.
I
Do
mean,
I always put it up
this
there?
is,
No, I don't. Sometimes I'm in and I'm out. Sometimes I have things that have to be brought in, sometimes things that have to be brought out. So,
well, there are a couple of thoughts on that. Number one, you're not an employee, and so that means you are a citizen of the town. And if you have a handicap sticker displayed in your vehicle, and you're the one that's the handicapped person, then this would not apply to you.
don't always display it. If I'm in and out, I don't put it up.
Well, maybe the chief can give you a warning. I mean, I'm just saying, this would not apply to you, so it's not a big deal. But the motion stands, and I think it should be reserved for handicapped people. You're not the only one that parks there.
That's true. That's true.
Before we move on to discussing this, we'll finish this item on the agenda, and we'll go back and revisit it. Is there any more discussion about the item handicap parking? We had a motion. Any more discussion on the motion? Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Cawthorn,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Kennedy.
I would like to clarify, are you talking about one spot?
I'm talking about the ramp area.
The
So
whole,
if they
the
can-
whole area? Is that what you're talking
Well,
about?
wait, there's no way you can get to the top if you can't get up the ramp. So I'm talking about the ramp and the top of the ramp.
The ramp is, okay. My answer is no, because the ramp is never blocked. No.
Well, I mean, just because you haven't experienced a problem, doesn't mean there might not be one in the future.
My answer is still no.
That's fine, that's your right.
Mullins,
No.
Powers,
Can we go back?
You can abstain.
Let's compromise. One side, let's have one complete lane.
Oh,
Like the closest lane
to be handicapped.
to be handicapped. The other, and so the outside lane, up for grabs.
Well, that would mean if someone is handicapped there, that the other lane would be blocked. One of the problems is any business that I've worked at or for, typically the employees park on the far end of the parking lot, and the people who are the customers are the ones who are allowed to get near the door, which would be the taxpayers of our town. And so the idea of that being for handicap parking, now I'm not talking about if someone's delivering boxes and they have their hazard lights on and they're taking boxes inside town hall. But I'm saying like for someone to park there from noon till 4, for instance, who is not handicapped, I mean they could park in the parking lot, like I do, when I come to pay my taxes or whatever, I don't think that's unreasonable for someone to park in the parking lot rather than on the ramp. Personally. If you'd like to make that, we'd have to reconsider the motion. But I don't think it's unreasonable for employees who are not handicapped to park in the parking lot rather than on the ramp.
We have had people fall out there, so unless you've got somebody that's cleaning the parking lot, you're putting employees at
So, I
risk.
mean, if you want to have an amendment to this which states, unless we're under a winter weather advisory, watch, warning, that's fine. If we've got a hurricane and someone needs to come into the office, they want to park under the ramp, probably no customer's going to come that day. I have no problem with that. But if it's normal weather and you're not handicapped,
So you either have to vote on the original motion and make a different motion?
You can vote yes, or vote no, or vote no and make a motion to amend based on what you were asking.
Yeah, so,
or abstain.
Or abstain,
I vote no, and we'll make that amendment to go 2 lanes.
Okay, if you could just briefly restate for the clerk what you're amending the motion to.
My
I
amendment,
understood it.
Okay,
okay.
want to make sure we have.
Okay, if you could repeat the motion as amended.
He wants to keep the inner lane to the doorway as handicap lane and the other lane open for others.
Yes.
So if anybody can park in the outer lane, and the inner lane would simply be for handicap traffic.
Yeah.
Do we have a second?
I would second that amendment.
And I'll make an amendment to the amended motion, which is that this does not apply to the employees of the town. Meaning that the outer lane is for customers, not for employees who do not have a handicap. Because I don't know any organization that takes the premium spots away from the customers and lets the employees park there.
Okay, so we got amendment, to the amendment, to the original motion. We have to vote on the amendment to the amendment. Do we have a second to the amendment to the amendment?
We have
I'm kind of confused.
So should
I'd
it,
say-
Parliamentarianism.
Hey, when I pull up, I park in the parking lot. I pull up them
That's right.
steps,
That's right.
and I've got a handicap
Well,
in
I do too.
my truck.
I do too. But,
So, I mean,
you know,
let's make one lane, fine, that's fine with me, and the inside lane be the handicap.
That's what I
I'm
would
the
say.
second amendment, or do you want?
I'm gonna second the amendment. I mean,
his.
but I'm just like
Okay,
this.
you're gonna second the amendment on the table. We'll vote on it, and then we'll go to see if it's
Go his.
amended to the original motion.
Because the amendment to the amended
I'm
motion
getting confused.
It's hard. It's hard.
is that this would not apply to employees unless they're handicapped.
Yeah.
Which means that employees would have to park in the parking lot unless they are handicapped. But anybody in the public is welcome to park underneath the shelter if they're not handicapped in the left lane. But if they are handicapped, they can park in the right lane. You follow?
Parking.
In other words, yeah, I mean, if you're an employee and you can walk
Yeah.
and you don't have a handicap sticker, I think you ought to be in the parking lot with the rest of us. That's my opinion, and that's what my amendment says.
Okay, we're voting on his amendment. We have a second.
I second.
Can we have a roll call vote on the amendment to the amended motion?
Calhoun,
Yes?
Hall,
Yes.
Kennedy,
No.
Mullins,
No.
Powers.
Do you want to trade seats with me? Yours too.
No.
Okay, we go to the amendment to the motion, and we had a second. Who seconded that?
Me.
Okay. Do we have any more discussion on that?
Yeah, I think that the amended motion is better than nothing. And I sense from this council, I'm not going to get any other concessions on the ramp and and the stage. And so I will support the amended motion so that handicapped people, although if more than one comes at once, that lane may be blocked because an employee is parked in the left lane. I think that this is better than nothing, and it's as much as I'm going to get tonight.
Okay, any more discussion? Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Cawthorn,
Yes.
Hall,
No.
I'm sorry, Kennedy,
Yes.
Mullins,
Yes.
Powers.
Yeah.
Okay, and the motion passes.
So how will that be, I guess, the practical is, maybe this is for our law enforcement, our police chief. How will that be notated, Chief Wilcox, that the one lane is for handicap only and the other lane is for?
With all due respect, you all created this monster of equality, town manager to figure out how to post it. I don't have no idea.
Okay. You can get a sign,
Okay.
handicap only, fine. I guess we don't have a fine set, but.
In response to Councilperson Kennedy's concerns, I can look at it too and see if there needs to be any additional signs posted for liability reasons, for personal injury reasons.
Yeah, but I want everybody to know you don't just pull up if you're able-bodied, but that you park in the parking lot. And I think that's something for the employees who don't have a handicap. I think that would be the proper thing to do.
Okay, is there any more discussion on this item on the agenda?